What's up, good people? It's your boy DJ Spin. I am with Weed Time Podcast. As you can see, I'm all alone this evening, and it's not because Tisha's sick. She actually said she wanted to let the men handle it. So I'm going to bring on a couple of fellas, and we're going to talk about some things. First off, I'm going to bring up Mr. Andre Harris. Mr. Harris, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, boss man. How you doing?
Man, I am doing blessed. I cannot complain. And the
Hey, man.
second guest that I'm bringing on is Garen Diamond. What's up, good sir?
What's going on?
Hey, man, just trying to be like you, man.
Man, no, you're not. You ain't trying to have no baby spitting up on you every 3 seconds.
Man.
That is right.
It's a rough life.
The last time we spoke, man, you were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
You were expecting. This is your third, right?
Third boy,
wow.
yeah.
Man, you up there just starting a whole legacy over there. It's like all diamonds. That's
man.
That's the idea. hey, got to keep the family jewels in line. You know?
I see, man. I'm trying to go ahead and put Tibble out of a business real quick. I got you. So the title of this podcast this go around is it starts with you. And it's crazy how the conversations that we've had with both of you guys ended up being, I felt like, some of our best conversations. Just dealing with the family aspect of it. And I wanted to go ahead and deep dive in it because the male psyche is it's a strange thing because there's a lot of mystery because not everybody is open to talk about it. And then a lot of us, since we don't talk, we don't have the tools that we need to navigate day-to-day situations. So I just kind of wanted to throw some things out there and just get your retrospect on it because I feel you guys have a great outlook on life and it can help not only men get into a place where they can go ahead and talk and have a better communication with their significant other, but also give women an outlook of allowing a man to have the space to grow and be that man that he's called to be in the household. So I just want to go ahead and open it up with you, Garen, since you were adding on to your family, just to tell me how that's working, because not only you had two sons, now you have another one. So you got that transition again of baby, and getting replaced with another child. So how's that going?
Wow. I don't know how people do this.
Man.
It's too much. Nah, it's nothing more than what we can't handle. It's interesting. I will tell you that much because my boys are 6 and 5, and now we have a newborn, and they can kind of do things on their own, but we have to pay a little bit more attention to the newborn, like every little detail, every little thing. Can you hold the baby while I go to the restroom? Can you, make sure the boys is okay real quick? And
right.
At just at this particular moment, we have to isolate them a little bit more so we can make sure that the baby's okay. Not be too rough around the baby. Like, all right, y'all gotta learn to play with each other by yourself, kind of like how me and my brother did.
Right.
Y'all gotta learn to break stuff, and y'all gotta learn that I'm gonna come and whoop you. Nah,
hey, tell the truth, man. Tell the truth.
Depending on what you broke, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
if you broke one of your toys, cool.
Right.
But daddy stuff, I just got to deal with it. But I mean, it's interesting, man. It never stops, never sleeps. I'd say that much.
I got you, Mr. Harris. I don't think I've actually gotten to your whole dynamic, your family dynamic. How many children do you got going now?
I got 5, man.
You got 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a 16-year-old, I got a 12-year-old, I got an 8-year-old, I got a 6-year-old, and I got a 4-year-old. Yeah. So
you got some nice gaps in there.
Yeah, 4 years apart, all of them. So
man,
that's a blessing.
So how is it with dealing with the different personalities, man? With 4 years of difference in experience for a child,
Yeah,
is a lifetime. So
yeah.
What what are you dealing with those personalities, man?
I'm going through the teenage phase with my two oldest daughters. Not wanting to be around dad, only calling dad when they want something. And it's part of life, man. Then with my son, I'm dealing with that. He just want to do everything to please dad. He just want to be around his daddy. And then with my other two, I'm just wondering if they like me. My 6-year-old, my 4-year-old. Sometimes I know I'm the best dad in the world. Other days, I don't even think they like me. So that's what I'm dealing with, man.
It's real transactional, real quick.
Yeah, man. They go from bad to worse real quick,
man.
Either or, a hot or cold, man. That is funny. So, speaking of the children, man, I mean, that's not the only personality you got to deal with. You got to deal with the mother too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Garen, how has that changed with you? Because this is your third, and coming off of pregnancy, I know emotions can be high and low. Some people they get through it just fine, and then other people they have a problem transitioning from being pregnant. So how's that been for you and your wife?
Currently in progress, still working. Everything is kind of a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
We met this juncture of us giving birth, it wasn't normal like the last two boys. Mm-hmm. And since it wasn't normal like the last two boys, it required a little bit more, I guess you could say, a little bit more attention, because we ended up having to have a emergency C-section. Mm-hmm. She lost around about 2.
Oh. We lost your audio, man. We lost your. We can't hear you. It's like you bleeped out on us. It's getting good. All right, he's probably gonna pop back in. So while we're waiting on him to jump back in, Andre, why don't you go ahead and let us know what's going on with you as far as that goes?
On what?
As far as just hold on, you just hop back in.
Okay.
Let's see if he's back. I hear air, so
there you go.
I say your audio's back.
Yeah, man.
You back.
My son FaceTime me. Killed the whole show, right? Just like
just speaking him up, like, hey, stop talking.
Yeah, he gonna want something. But just man, it was a lot. And our family, I will say our family did step up. Her mom, dad, my mom, my brother, everybody that was kind of around kind of helped with the boys. Kind of get them straight because I had to be there 24/7. Like, I don't know if, Andre, if you and your wife may have been in a situation where she may have had to have a C-section or anything like that. But man, they was asking me to leave the room. I was like, nope, I ain't going nowhere. So I watched that whole process. And as I was watching it, I was just like, crying at the same time because you worried, everything going through your head. Like when I say everything, I can't really do this by myself. It's too much. I ain't gonna be able to do this. I ain't gonna be able to, kind of give them that mama that they need at this moment. So it's that, and then recovery. And man, it's a work in progress, and we're gonna continue to keep working. I don't think the dynamic with us has changed. It's just trying to figure out how we can put this new baby into our program.
So I mean, if you don't mind me asking, your wife is doing a lot better though.
Yeah.
Recovery's going good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. That's real good, man.
Thank you.
I understand that, man. I'm like, anytime somebody goes down and it requires a lot of attention. I mean, that's a lot. And were your kids able to go ahead and adjust to that? Because basically, mommy and daddy weren't in the same capacity that they've been in.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody's still adjusting. Mm-hmm. We got to figure it out. We going forth. We just got to know if, the boys, because one's in first grade and the other one's about to be heading into kindergarten. So they don't see a change. They just saw mommy and daddy leave for a little bit and come back with a baby. And they came to the hospital and was like, oh, okay, cool. When can we go home and go play? Like, so they didn't see a lot of part, but I think I think just us going through it every day, like every time this system just goes, man, it just makes things a little bit more normal every day, as long as we continue to maintain and keep good spirits about it. And it's always a fight to get to that place, but we up for the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Andre, I mean, I don't know, like, if you experienced anything like traumatic or anything with your wife, with the children, like, has anything just popped up where you had to change everything?
Oh yeah. So man, I feel what he's saying. My wife actually had three C-sections. Because she just couldn't deliver. She just couldn't deliver normally, vaginal. She couldn't do it. Her body wouldn't let her. She wouldn't dilate at all. So she had three C-sections. So it was, it was tough. When you with your first. So my oldest two daughters are actually from a different time in my life. Before I met my wife. So they actually live out of town. They out of town. So we figured that stuff out. But with my wife, with the three that we got living with us, yeah. So when she had my son, it was kind of easy because he was the only child. And then when she got pregnant again with my with my my baby, my 6-year-old, um, it was hard. It was hard trying to find somebody to watch uh my son so I could be there in the hospital with my wife. And so for my 6-year-old, it was difficult because she came at like, I don't know, she came in the 20s. So she didn't go full all the way full term. And so for us, it was my wife dealing with the C-section while she was in the hospital. It was a time that I had to go from my wife's room to the NIC room, back and forth, checking on my wife and checking on my daughter. She had to have like, I think, 4 blood transfusions when she was first born. For my 6-year-old, it was horrible. Now she's healthy and happy and everything in between. But I would get off work, go take a shower, go see my wife in her room for about an hour, and then go to the NIC unit and stay there with my daughter probably to like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, then leave there, go pick up my son from my mama house, go home, bathe him, get him ready, feed him, and get him ready for bed, and then get up and do the whole thing all back over again. Work, hospital, picking up my son. I had to do that probably for like 2 or 3 weeks while my wife and my daughter both stayed in the hospital. And and then my wife got out. And when my wife got out, my daughter, she still had to stay in there. I think my daughter stayed in the hospital for like 2 months. Because they had let her come home probably like a month and a half after being into it, and then she caught jaundice, where they turn yellow, and so we had to take her back to the hospital, and then she had to be back in NIC unit for another 2 weeks. So yeah, my youngest was in the hospital for like 2 days, and then it was going to work, coming home, checking on my wife, getting my wife and my son ready to go to the hospital so we can sit in the NIC unit for like 3 or 4 hours with my daughter, and then come home, get him ready, put him in a bath, bathe him, feed him, lay him down, get back up and do it again. So, man, it was a struggle.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Sounds like both of you gentlemen have definitely earned your stripes as fathers, man.
That's an everyday task. Everything he just said, I'm like, yeah, about to do that in a little bit.
Yeah, man.
And my boy had jaundice too, and they had to put him up under the Billy light.
Yep.
And yeah, man, that was crazy. Both my other boys didn't have that. And when they put him up under the Billy light, I mean, I'm like, dang, man, this look crazy. It look, he's all blued out, got the little shades on. And yeah, man, I feel you, bro. And then you still got to figure out what you gonna do, because then the time for yourself is like maybe an hour late at night, depending on if you don't want to get up late. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel that.
So I mean, what were some of the things, man, that you did to kind of keep it together? Because I mean, basically, you had to shoulder everything for the family. So I mean, what was it that kept you centered balanced out, or would you just basically running by the seat of your pants on those situations?
Actually, that's what I was doing, man. That's what I was doing. Man, it was very little time for prayer, very little time for reading of the word. I mean, like, I really ain't had no time, but the Lord sustained me. That's all I can say. He sustained me, he kept me. And because I couldn't pray at them times, man. I couldn't read the word at them times. I was literally, by the time I got everybody ready, I took a shower and I crashed, man. I don't even remember eating some of them nights. Like, I just remember going to bed and just crashing, waking up and knowing I got to do it all over again. 7 days a week, I mean, on the weekends, I got a little bit because I didn't have to go to work, do that 8 to 10 hours. But, still, man, it was a constant. I didn't find no time for me. I didn't. It just, it didn't exist at that time. But that was a season in my life that I ain't going back to, though. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care how cute a baby is. I can't go back to it. I'm over that hump. Golly.
He said, I'm done. I'm done.
I'm
man,
done.
I do not blame you, man. I do.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way. I mean, you just because nobody got that kind of experience until you going through it.
That's true.
And then when you got the experience, just like you said, you ain't going through that again.
Yeah.
So if anything, the experience is more so to be empathetic, to other men that could possibly be going through that experience, because that's sometimes for us it's it's a one-time thing, sometimes it's a 2-3 time thing, but I tell you this much, it never is the same. You can't I can look at all of my boys and be like, man, those was 3 different experiences. Nothing was the same. I can't be like, oh, well, we did this for this. Like, nope, not even the doctors, not even the people in the room, not the anesthesiologist. Nothing was the same.
Wow.
Not how some doctors get you prepared or some nurses get you prepared. So you can have as much experience in the world, but when you're in the war room, you got to prepare for somebody with, brass knuckles. You thinking that they always coming with with weapons, like guns. You got to worry for somebody with brass knuckles, a knife. You got to worry for everything. So it's just anything. Just be ready for what's coming, because you don't know what's coming.
Man,
that's true.
Man, I appreciate y'all being this so open and honest with this, how you guys work through this. So I really want to kind of tap into some different things, the family dynamic as far as like the children, and then also just dealing with, your significant other, because I know that as a father, you are the discipline in the household, and then most of the time the mothers are the nurturer. So have you ran into that situation where, it's almost like a divide between you just because of you trying to discipline the children? Like, Aaron, on your side, you have mainly boys. So, I mean, basically you're coming at them as a man and you trying to do as a man. But Andre, on the other hand, you had girls. So I know that's a different outlook on that. So I would like you gentlemen to kind of tell us how that worked out with you. What were some of the things that you got hung up on?
I beat my girls like I beat my son.
So that everybody gets treated equal.
Hey, at first when I had my first daughter, I was like, oh man, she's so precious, she's so beautiful. I don't want to whoop her. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And man, by 4, I was tearing that butt up because she was taking full advantage. Boy, she was taking full advantage. And by the time my second daughter came, I was like, yeah. But by the time my second daughter came, I was already a pro. Come on, let's get it done. I ain't even gonna play with you. So, but kind of like the hassles. So with my wife was kind of raised, not kind of, my wife was raised in a house where, and this is rare, I never heard this with Black people before ever, but my wife was raised in a house where her mama or her daddy didn't whoop them. And so, their discipline was like a little bit different. It was like go to your room, whatever you get on punishment, but they never got a spanking. So with my wife, she came in when we started having children. You know, before we had them, we would have these discussions. But when once we start having kids, the discussion was, "Hey, I'm disciplining these kids. It doesn't matter." Um, and so I disciplined him. And my wife, she didn't know how to handle that because again, she never got whooped. So that's what she wanted for her kids. And honestly, I'm like, these kids is bad in 2024 and 2020 and 2019, 2018. These ain't the same kids. They bad. So I even give you a time. I remember one time I was um it was a lot of times that I actually tried to did it, but it was this one time that me and my wife, it was so bad. Like I literally had to yell at my wife, like really yell and raise my voice at my wife because I was trying to discipline my son. And she wasn't saying nothing. But you know, body language says a lot. So she just came in there. Most of the time when I was trying to discipline my children, my wife would come in there and she would fold her arms and she wouldn't say nothing and she would just look at me. And I would just be like, "What are you doing?" Like, first of all, it makes me feel uncomfortable because you making me feel like I'm getting in trouble, you know. So I was like, "But you know, don't do that." And what happened was, whenever my wife would come to that door and she would open that door when I'm trying to discipline him, they would start calling out for her, and then it would just be a whole bunch of commotion in the house. And they would, when they seen her, I guess they thought she was going to be the rescue. So they would just start yelling and screaming at the top of their voice. And I'm trying to tell them, be quiet. You're still about to get a whooping. I'm trying to tell my wife, get out the door, you know, so I can discipline them. And it was bad, man. It was bad for a long time until my wife, uh, until me and my wife had to sit down, and talk like adults, and we just had to share our hearts. And so, you know, for me, I don't discipline my kids when I'm angry because parents tend to have a tendency to hurt their kids when they do that. So for me, I don't discipline my kids when I'm mad. When they get a whooping, I already got a number in my head about how many times I'm gonna hit them with how many times they about to get a whooping. Uh, I'm gonna hit them, you know, 3 to 4 or 5 times. That's it. I don't go over that. Um, and so for me, and then not whooping them when I'm frustrated. So if they frustrate me or they do something that's wrong, I sit down and I tell them, "Hey, you know you about to get a whooping, right? You ain't gonna get one now, but you gonna get it in the morning, or you gonna get it in a couple hours. Whenever I calm down, then you know I go in the room, I shut the door, and I whoop 'em." But it took my wife a long time to trust me, I would say, to know that I had my kids' best interest in heart, and just because I discipline them, don't mean that I don't love them, or it's a different type of, you know, because she think that you could just sit down. And here's the truth: my wife thinks that you can just sit these kids down and talk to these kids, and I try to tell my wife, I said you can't do that. So when I'm not home, my kids tend to try to run over my wife. Like, cause my wife would tell them about 50 million times, sit down or I'm gonna whoop you. You gonna get a whooping. You gonna get whooped. I said, man,
Well,
these
they
kids
already
already know
know.
you ain't gonna touch them.
They
They
already
already know
know.
that. You know, it's been scientifically proven that a child knows by the time that they are two who is the disciplinary in the relationship and who's not. And it always tend to be the mama that's not. Only in the rare cases that is the mom will discipline and the father won't. That's a rare case. We talking about maybe 2 out of 10. Majority of the time, it's the father who disciplines in the house. And so by the time a child is already 2 years old, that child already know who's going to whoop them and who's not. And it tends to happen that the one that don't whoop them is the one that they run over. You know, it's just that's just what they do because they kids. You know, they
Mhm.
just like us. They just a smaller version. You know, when we was
Yeah.
growing up, we knew who we can take advantage of and who we couldn't. You know,
Or
they just don't repeat the
you knew
same
who you can
cycle.
go ahead and cop out to, you know, like, hey,
Yeah,
mama, go ahead and get to like throw that life preserver in there in the room, rescue
yeah,
me. It's like
yeah,
you knew what you could say. It's like to get out of it, wiggle your way out, but
yeah.
daddy kept you alone and the boys and you know it's a wrap. You know it's a wrap.
Man,
So Garen, have you had any issues with discipline?
Yeah, of course. You got kids, you're gonna have them.
hmm
And nothing, if anything, I try to make the boys understand that it's not, let me see, how can I say this? it's not one. You know, me and my wife, you know, she same situation as Andre. She comes from home. She's never gotten whoopings, nothing like that. And we talk whenever I am disciplining the boys, she lets me have it, I will say. And then we'll go in the room and then we'll talk or something like that. Or, you know, if she doesn't like something, she'll tell me how to go about it another time. But also too, I'm like, all right, cool. Your turn. You know, you up. You know, and I let her kind of get that experience with them so she knows how to respond. Let's see where your threshold meter is with this and how far I can go when, let's say, I'm at work or if I'm out running an errand or something like that. I want the boys to know that I'm not just the disciplinary and mom is just not the nurturer. We are both equally. I am the disciplinary and I am the nurturer. Mama is the disciplinary and she is the nurturer. And I think if we hold those two pillars together, I don't think I mean, it's going to happen because kids are going to, you know, favor one over the other based off of the level of discipline that they get. Right. But the idea is if I say no, she say no. If she say yes, I say yes. You know what I mean? And it could be something that I'm like, yo, no tablets tonight, but she let them have them and I just got to eat it, you know, because once they see, cracks in the foundation, they act like there's cracks in the foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you're gonna go because boys test you. I don't have girls to know that part of it, but they test her too. They don't always just be like, mommy, mommy, mom. No, they test her. And she's gotten with them. And she's had to, but not rough enough where we just like, oh, you know, throw the kid over the balcony, but just enough to like pop, and we got to do it quick. So I have to like, when it happens, I got to like go in like quick anger diffuse mode. Cause like Andre said, you whoop them when you're mad, DFS gonna come get you.
Right.
And that's just straight what it is. But I try to diffuse real quick. So the level of discipline I'm gonna give them is gonna be like 1-2 taps. They know I mean it, you know, but that's going to be another thing. That's another work in progress because based off of where we at in this phase and stage of our marriage, you know, us being, I'm 38, she 36, you know, we got a 6 and a 5 and a newborn. So how our mental is right now, you know what I mean? Where are we at? Who are we right now as we're parenting these children? And it'll change in another phase, you know, in another 3 years, this will be a different conversation. You know, Andre knows, you know, he has older children. Right. It'll be way different. The dynamic will be different because we'll be having a 3-year-old and then we'll be having a 9 and an 8-year-old. You know what I mean? Right. So by then we don't know what we'll have ourselves into or what activities that we'll do where we have to, because I have this thing where I believe discipline, it grows as much as the kids do. So you have to, you can't use old measures for new growth.
Right.
You know, you know, so by the time they get, even when my son turns 7, I'm gonna have to try things different based off of the way he acts. You can only discipline the kids based off the way that they act. Now, if they get unruly, they're gonna get that work. But if it's something that I can handle, and I try to do that first, I try to handle it without going to the anger stage, then we'll see where we at. Because you know, you don't like to hear somebody say, I had to whoop my 18-year-old's butt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. That sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
I think the way that the generation is now is it's kind of like what Andre said, when a lot of people just start acting like they want to be friends versus saying I'm the parent. And the attitudes and then the personalities they kind of cultivated with the culture. And I'm getting to a point here is, I don't know if you've seen, there's a couple of videos that kind of really triggered me, and I don't know if you've seen them, but one video, it was like a little girl party, and what they were doing is they were singing Sexy Red, like karaoke. She had a little radio, had the microphone singing it. It was an unedited version. The little girls was twerking and everything, and somebody recorded this. Like, this was cute. Another video that I seen
that video.
You seen that one? D1 had reposted it on Instagram, and that's how I ended up seeing it.
Yeah,
I don't watch those videos, bro. I can't, only because I got this
horrible.
I got this sensory thing in my head that the internet is going to tell us that we watching some form of kiddie.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch them. Anytime that happens, I'll be like, nope, throw the phone away.
So that was last week. This week, I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be some type of dance studio, and they had Mommy and Me Day, and they were on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? And y'all find this to be acceptable? And the craziest thing about it is, you know, in this atmosphere of this digital age where there's so many different people that are just exploiting children, and you're just giving them a reason, you know, you're feeding into that, and you don't even realize it. And that's the sad thing about it. And I mean, there's so many men out there that are fighting to keep the children off the pole, and you're up here saying that this is acceptable at a young age. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to think they're going to be doing if this is acceptable now? What are they going to say when they get older? Well, Mama, remember when you took me? You know, and I don't understand it, man. I mean, I'm just getting into this whole parenting thing and wanting to be a part of it, and I'm just like, I know that this isn't right. This shouldn't be accepted, but how is it a room full of women that feel like this is okay?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest, man. Everybody's parental threshold is way different. So I don't. I would love to have it's way different, man. I would love to have a comment on it, but you know, it's probably other factors. There's other things that lies beneath there, you know. So it's not what we seeing is a result of parenting. We not seeing the actual parenting. When you see them twerking, man, listen, you don't even want to know what's going on inside their home when the cameras is not on. And I'm not saying like nothing bad, but it's just the lessons that the parent could be administering that may not have a quality level of parenting. You could say, you know, a lot of parents now just walk around with no decorum. Men are not able to save kids that they ain't in the house with at times. You can go get them a million times and pick them up and give them their favorite ice cream. But if they not coming downstairs bothering you like Andre kids, he gotta look over his shoulder like, hey, you know what I mean? Well, I'm looking over, I'm listening, you know what I'm saying? Like because it's hard to influence a child that doesn't see you, doesn't see your habits, doesn't see your system of what you go through every day. So when these kids, whether it be little boys, little girls, when they see their fathers or mothers misbehaving in ways, or that you got to remember that may just be the system of normal to them. So if they hear their mamas on the phone talking to their friends, you know what I'm saying? Like when you think a kid ain't listening, you tripping. Yeah. Kids hear everything. I don't even know how they do it. They got like supersonic antennas. They pick up like 20G on they, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's normal to them. So if you hear your mama on the phone back there talking to her friends, which is okay, you know, because we can't judge that conversation that women is having between each other. We got to look at it like, well, maybe the kid hears it. And also too, we got to watch out for the stage that the parents prepare for the kids to dance on. That was a double entendre. It's not the real stage. We only see the real stage because we see the result of the parenting. Otherwise, bro, it's hard to save them, man. It's just gonna have to see. They just gonna have to like level out or balance out as they grow into society. That's just what it's gonna have to be.
See, for me, I actually went to a kids party here in Kansas City, man. I literally went to the party, and you know, I'm just going there to support. And they wanted the girls. It was a little girls' party, my family member, and so they wanted the girls to dance. The first song to come on that an adult put on is "Booty Me Down." with the lyrics, though. I'm talking about the full lyrics in it and everything, man. First time I ever heard that song was at this kid's party, and they literally wanted the kids to dance to it. And I got so upset, and they asked me what was wrong, and I was like, y'all listen to what y'all want these kids to dance to. And like you can tell that the little girls was uncomfortable. It was probably like 6 of them, but you can tell that they were uncomfortable. But the parents were steady there encouraging them, and they just did what they did. I was so upset. I left the party. I left the party and went home, and I was smoking. And the first thing that they said was when I was leaving, they was like, "Oh, what you want us to do? You want us to play some Christian music?" And that's first thing they said. Like that was their defense because they knew that that was wrong. But so it goes back to what he was talking about, man. It is all about parenting. Whatever the parent think is okay, that's what they're going to let into the house. But it's not just that. We live in a day and age now where parents don't. Kids are getting phones by 7 and 8 years old. Parents are not putting lock protections on the phones. They're not putting lock protection on the tablets, on them laptops. And what they're doing is they're just giving this. And so some of the stuff is by the parents, but majority of the stuff is coming through cell phones, tablets, laptops, and television. Because the parents just say, here, I'm going to set you in front of here, or I'm going to give you this phone. And the phone, I'm going to let the phone raise you. And that's what most parents do. And so with the kid, like it's kids out here with Facebook pages at 7 years old. I started a TikTok page and I never been on TikTok before, but I had to do it for my nonprofit. And the first thing that happened when I got on TikTok was TikTok started showing me all these Turk videos. And I was like, what in the world is going on? I don't want to see it. So I had to put a restriction on TikTok to where it only shows the positive stuff. But now I just don't even be on it because I don't want to deal with it. And so when you give a child a phone, a laptop, whatever, and you tell that and you just let that laptop and that phone raise your child, then this is what's going to happen. Your child is going to be influenced by whatever they see. So whatever they see, they're going to do because most of us are visual learners. So we learn from what we see. So when you just put this and say, here, I don't want to deal with, and that's a way that a parent say, I don't really want to be a parent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this tablet and I'm going to leave you alone. And then what happens is, and I'm going to tell y'all a true story. So my oldest daughter, this is what happened. So my oldest daughter, and so that's why now the kids in my house do not have a cell phone. And when my son get of age where he can't have a cell phone, which is when he's 13, it will be a cell phone that can't access the internet. It can only text and call. That's all it's going to be able to do. My kids in this house, they don't do tablets. They don't do cell phones. They don't do laptops. We don't do none of that. And then even on my TV, on all of our TVs, the TVs that they have in their bedrooms, the TVs that we have in the front room, in my room, we all got it rated with a lock on it, right? To where nothing can pop up that's not PG. Nothing. It's a lock on there. I got the codes to every one of it, even their phone, because I want even on the video games, like they can have video games. We got video games here, but the video games have parental locks on them to where nothing can pop up that's not PG. I don't allow my kids to engage on online activities either because you don't know who they talking to. And so when my 16-year-old was 9 years old, it was the same thing that I was trying to instill into her mama. But her mama, I can honestly say that my baby mama is ignorant. She really is. And anything that I say to her that advances the girl, she don't want to do. Like even when I told her, hey, move up here so we can put the girls in private school, she was like, why would I want the kids to go to private school? That's just stupid. So anything that to try to advance the kids, she don't want to do that. So my youngest daughter was 9 years old. Found out that at 9 years old, my youngest daughter was talking to a 37-year-old dude in New York. I'm dead serious, man. 37 years old. He was talking to a 9-year-old in New York, and they met off the internet because she refused to put parental locks on a phone or even to grab the phone and monitor. She really wanted the kids to have that freedom. And so how she found out one day was she just randomly picked up her phone and just all of a sudden she wanted to look through it. And then my 9-year, she see all of these conversations that my 9-year-old was having with this 37-year-old. And then me as a father, I'm smoking. I want to call him, but we couldn't play it like that. We had to turn this stuff over to the authorities. And I don't care what nobody say about me. I don't care if you say Andre a snitch, whatever, man. None of that bothers me. None of that moves me.
You can't allow that to go on.
You can't engage with a 9-year-old on no circumstances like that. But praise God, it wasn't sexually when we caught it, but from the way that he was talking, I guarantee that it would have been if we would have never caught it in time, right? It would have been. Right. So yeah, me, I was like, man, I'm about to hop in the car right now and go to New York. I'm about to go, it's about to be like that because I got a background for doing stuff like that. I'm like, I don't play games, especially not when it comes to my kids. I'm like, I'll just hop in this car, I'll drive to New York, and I'll handle you, boy. Right. But praise God for a godly wife who like, don't be so stupid, Andre. Like, let the proper authorities handle it, man. And we had to turn that stuff over to the police, and they had to do their deal, man. And I don't regret it. One of the best decisions I ever made. Yeah, I don't care what nobody think of me either. I really don't.
That's real. That's real. And I haven't had that experience, but I hear the stories, man. I hear the stories. Like it was during Christmas break where they said that it was some dude trying to talk to the kids through Roblox, and I'm just like, I know kids love playing Roblox, and it's creeps that are just out there just doing stuff like that, and I'm like, man, the kids can't have nothing, without something going on. It's like I didn't know YouTube had issues where people would put videos to intentionally scare the kids. They would basically blanket it underneath something that they will watch, and then all of a sudden some demonic crazy looking thing would pop up. I'm like, dude, why would you do something like that, dude?
Not only that, brother, U-version got the same thing. U-version got the same thing where you will have grown men, and you think because it's a Bible app, but you got grown men in U-version in chat explicitly talking to kids, man. So they not safe nowhere when it comes to this internet, bro. There's no place that's safe. And so for us as parents, we got to do our due diligence and make sure that our kids are protected, man.
Most definitely.
That was the biggest thing when I came up with this title, though. It starts with us as the men in the household. We have to do the due diligence, make sure that we are the guardians and protecting the children. And if we're not on our P's and Q's, man, somebody else will definitely step in and take full advantage. And that's the sad thing about it, especially with this day and age with all the technology that's out there. And like, if you're not paying attention, somebody definitely is.
I think that's the biggest point right there is what you just said. If you're not paying attention, let's just be honest. Ain't nobody paying attention because you gotta think. All right, even in my age, right? I grew up watching Family Matters, Martin, Cosby Show, right? So mama could leave me and my brother in the room, not feel that same way because it's a cable. This is a cable reference. TV is controlled, right? They're only going to put certain things on the network, right?
That's why they call it programming.
That's why they call it programming. The internet pretty much takes programming and it metastasizes it because it says, "Oh, we're going to program everything." It doesn't have a filter or anything like that. And I think us parents need to continue like there are those moments where it's like, all right, I need to get some things done and I kind of need you out of my way. Fine. But that can't be the norm, or it shouldn't be. It happens because when kids run out of stuff to do, it happens like in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It happened real
serious.
quick. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find things to do from 30-minute increments, I would say. But then at the same time, you got to know, I don't live with that purpose to say, let your kids be your kids or let them they came out of me. So since I don't let them live like that, I have to give them a path. If they don't have a path, that social media is going to give them one.
Yeah, now, come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got parents that's 28, that may have the same age son as I have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think that's 10 years removed. It could be the same thing with somebody that's 48, 58, you know, based off of when they coming up, a 28-year-old 10 years ago, they was still on Facebook. They were in that. So all they know to give their kids is this. Now, funny thing is, like, retro in reverse, the tech now is going to be old tech when my son becomes my age.
Right.
So this ain't even going to be a thing. But the question is what's the security around it? We know that there's nothing online that prevents this. So the security still has to be us physical people. That's like, come on, time's up. Time's up. Yeah, I gave you an hour. Time's up. Let's go do something different. Whether you take your kids out there to golf, saw, paint, do whatever. It has to be a physical activity that's associated with it, with raising your child, because if it's not some sort of physical activity associated with it, the internet is going to grab them and it's going to slave them, because it's going to, I think a friend of mine was telling me about a study, like too much tablet time on the kids creates them to not sleep very well. So you see a lot of kids having bad sleep patterns at very, very, very young ages, because that tablet has just kind of got them, it's engaged them, but it also keeps them up, because you got to think, kids can go to sleep at 1 a.m. on a tablet, wake up at 7 a.m, want that tablet.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got a rule around here. No tablets until Friday, to the weekend. And we giving it to them after they done came in, did their homework, bathe. You know what I'm saying? Same thing on the weekends. You know, you're not going to wake up and get this tablet. You're going to get this. It's just pretty much like it's a dessert thing. But if we keep serving up these tablets like it's main course meals, breakfast and stuff like that, instead of a dessert, they ain't gonna know when to really appreciate dessert, because they only gonna know what they go to. Like, you know, this is breakfast. All right, cool. This is lunch. This is dinner. You know what I mean? It ain't no dessert no more, because that is the whole deal. We not giving our kids different things in different times of the day. We just giving them the tablet. And I'm a victim of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a victim of it. We've done it, but we've done it in circumstances a lot. But the C-section happened. Life will get to you where it's like,
gotta make a change for right
you
now.
You got to make a decision. Which one's important? I can live with them being on the tablet while I go run up to the hospital and take care of mama and baby. I can live with them. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're not faced with a good choice, you know, but you got to make the one, and you got to come back and do that, you know, the work that takes all of that bull crap out there that they just downloaded. So it's just,
but I think for you, brother, in situations like that, it still goes back to what you said before, though, right? It's not giving them the tablet from morning till dusk, you know what I'm saying? And just saying, hey, have at it, sit in front of this. And, you know, so I think it's like you said, it's some situations where you do have to make them decisions, but we really talking about those parents who just, I mean, the kids don't even got to ask for the tablet. They just wait. The tablet is in their bedroom. Fell asleep on their chest. You know what I'm saying? Right. They woke up at 6 and they on it again. So yeah, I think those are the parents that like we're trying to convey the message to. Like, hey, yeah, it is gonna happen. It is gonna be times that it happen, but we're saying don't make it the norm. Like you said, don't give them dessert for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then expect them not to want more dessert. You know.
But you got to look at the parents. If the parents got their phone, holding their phone, going across 19 different social medias, the kid is going to look at that habit like we talked about earlier. You know, that habit right there. You know what I'm saying? Mama got it. Yeah. So I got it too, you know? Right. Because you got to think, like, I was, it's so funny. I was, because I be making beats. and I was on Facebook. Then I jumped on Instagram. And Porter was like, I see you jumping platforms, right? and because I'm jumping platforms to see, you know, what it's like. Let me see the traction over here. Let me see the traction over there. Yeah, Facebook don't got nobody watching these beat making videos. It's more Instagram, more TikTok where these people are watching, right? But imagine me and Porter can contact each other via every app.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can go from Facebook to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's only we keep telling each other that we walking into different places, right? It's like we going into a different mall. Now, like Facebook could be Bannister, you know what I'm saying? the Instagram Landon. Could be, you know what I'm saying, the Landon or War Parkway. TikTok could be whatever, a gallery, a mall, however we want to slice it. But we keep going into these same different places, meeting each other, acting like, hey, you know, we could just sit in one place. So if the parents is hopping from mall to mall to mall to mall to mall, seeing the same people buying the same stuff, right? The kid is looking for that exact same level of exposure, going from app to app to app to app, whether it's going from a tablet to a handheld game to another game to whatever app is on TV. Everything is set up in a way where we're just like overstimulated.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
There is it,
video
right
game. They jump on that video game, talk with their friends. You know, like it. Like they have a level of connectivity with people in the world that I didn't grow up with. And to be honest with you, is it cool? It is. It is a little cool because, you know, you may have lived on the block with some punk kid that may not have wanted to come down and play. You know what I mean? And just make your PlayStation Crash Bandicoot experience just whack, right? They don't got this. They don't got that same experience, but it is a level of threat, security that comes with that. And us parents, like you said, man, we gotta control it still. We still the security. But if the parents that have the phone, whether it be the mothers, the fathers, if they got it, if they engaged in it, ain't no security there.
That's true.
Because ain't nothing stopping that parent from being caught up in that same thing that kid can get caught up in. Whether he getting catfished, whether he getting sold a bill of goods online, whether he got scammed on PayPal, whichever. There's no level of security for both.
That's good.
That's real good. See, I knew if I had y'all both on here, it was gonna be a couple of diamonds that just dropped out of here just randomly. Somebody was gonna get on here and say some stuff. So
now we both talking, and man, we because the perspective is different. You know, he got to raise his children from where he from, based off of his experiences or what he doesn't want to happen to them. Because I've never experienced, and trust me, I don't want to experience nothing like what Andre had to experience. Feeling like you want to drive. I'm not gonna front to you, bro. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna consult with my wife. I'll be like, I'll be back. I'll be gone. So you know what I mean? That's just where it is. If I had a
one of them moments, boy.
And here's the thing in reverse too, bro. I just sent a friend of mine a story about this woman that was having sex, like a teacher that was having sex with a 16-year-old kid, and the father knew about it, right? And the father didn't say nothing, right? They arrest the father. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because just as much that same little girl need protection, that little boy need protection. We can't send our little boys out here to go get experience with these grown women because you ruin the boys forever.
Right.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want you need these little boys to grow up to be men, to be able to approach your daughters with respect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if I grow up and I raise some hooligans and they come and talk to your daughter, you know, quick example. What if Andre got a daughter my son's age and my son talk crazy to her? He gonna want to do something to my son, right?
Right.
And in return,
I ain't but brother.
Yeah, but that's just the normal human level of life, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to do a job as a parent, right? Knowing what I have boys, so they got to be respectable. They gonna grow up to be men. Yep. I have to tell them, son, when you my age, when you look at yourself in that mirror, nobody sees a boy. Nobody see. They're gonna see a man. I can't tell a homie of mine, hey boy, that 18-year-old is cute. That sounds very pervertish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you gotta be real careful about the way and the things that you say. So we have to be careful about the way that we raising these kids and raising these boys to be men. So many people want these men to be men. Let the men raise them, but we have to raise them in quality, decorum. Have to give them those things. If you want a respectable man, he has to be raised by a respectable man.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? If you want a respectable daughter, she got to be raised by a respectable woman. You know what I'm saying? Two of the things, you're not going to get the best kid. You have those 1-offs or 2-offs or 3-offs, you know? Andre said earlier, you got situations 2 and 10. But for the normal, for the average, you're not going to have no Jezebel for a mama and then have like a housewife for a daughter. Those two things don't typically happen. You're not gonna have no player for no daddy and think that their boy not gonna exhibit that. That's what's gonna happen. And the sucky thing that happens is when it's flipped. You know what I mean? Because when boys make when boys make bad choices in women, that's a reflection on the mom. When girls make bad choices in men, it's a reflection on the dad. Think of
now you talking, boy.
Think of it. It's a scary world. I mean, we cutting through lines. Parenting is not straight. It is.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's everything. So protect these children, no matter they boys, girls, whatever. I don't want my son having an experience at 13 with some freaky 23-year-old teacher who couldn't control herself, and now he has a thirst for freaky women at that age, you know, and it can't be tamed. So all the girls at his age, they can't keep up with him. They have to now do things that this 23-year-old teacher did to keep up with him, vice versa. You know, same thing when we was all in school and we seen that 15-year-old girl with that 20-year-old boyfriend, you know, and we like, oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't keep up with her. She doing things with men. You know, so we have to look at things and say, this requires a little bit more attention. Whether if I got to put the phone down and start, you know, paying you some attention, whether if it's an hour a day, we create a schedule, whether we doing some things, you know, workshopping with each other, whether we talking, whether we outside doing something stupid, I need to have that time with you to be stupid with you so I can be like, no, this is the limit. This is enough stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My bad for going on the tangent, dog.
It's all good, man. You know what?
I'm sorry, y'all.
You know what? I really appreciate it, man. You know, because these are the conversations that need to be talked about. You know, a lot of people don't even talk about this type of stuff. And it's one of the things where, you know, there's strength in numbers. And if we know what we're dealing with, a lot of this stuff could be handled a lot better. And some people will realize that, hey, maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. And this could actually save a lot of different kids from experiencing something that they need not even come in contact with at any age.
Man, I still had to ask my wife's father, you know, for permission to marry her. You know, and you got to think about it. Andre wants that for his daughter. You know what I mean? Right. Like, put some fear into these young men that you're not coming here and thinking that it's no game. You know, and we have to stand next to our brother in solitude and be like, it's not no game.
Right.
Yeah.
And call it out. It's like when you see it, just call it out. Like, well, you ain't gonna just come up and disrespect. Sure. You're not gonna disrespect. It's like, talk to these young men and let them know that, hey, there is a proper procedure when you want to do these type of things. If this is what you're trying to do, you know, nobody wants to date. Nobody knows what it means to actual court anybody. Nobody knows how to even approach somebody with respect. You know,
because that's all they see. You know, all they, and it goes back to the internet. That's all they see. You know, and a boy
that exposure, man.
And we keep thinking, in this society that a woman can raise a man, and she can't. And from history, when women raise men, women have a really bad track record of raising boys to be men. They do. When you look at the Black community and you see how many men are in jail, Black men that are in jail, 2 million Black men, but we only make up like 13% of the population in America out of 300 and something. And it's because our women are thinking that they can do it all by themselves. It's like that post said, some children think they got deadbeat dad, when really all they got is a bitter mother. I speak from that personally. Nobody knows. And then the state gives the power to the woman. Just give all the power to the woman. Most of the time when you go into court for court battle, the judge, whether he's a woman or a man, he's already siding with the woman, even if you ain't even wrong in the situation. Like, I'll tell y'all another true story. One time, my baby mama moved, so I wasn't able to go pick my girls up. You know, I ain't see my girl for 2 years. She moved, and she would, every time I would talk to my girl, she would have me on speakerphone, so I couldn't ask my girls where they living. So for 2 years, I couldn't see my daughters, and I didn't know where they was at. You know how I had to find out? One day, my girls called me, and my girls say, "Hey, Daddy, I'm really hungry. There's no food in this house." I said, "Okay, love, that's cool. You got to give me your address, and I'll buy pizza for everybody in the house." I literally had to buy pizza for everybody in the house in order for me to get the address, in order so I can go down there and see my girls again. And she held them away from me for 2 years. For 2 years, man. And so I know the bitterness of a baby mama who's bitter, who's mad because you didn't do what you wanted to do. Y'all didn't last. You didn't treat her right in the relationship, and she used the children as a weapon to try to get you back, because now y'all separated. There's no way for her to hurt you no more, and the only power that she has over you is your children. And a bitter woman is going to use the children to get back at you. That's just what they do. Like, I always been a good dad, always. You know, my baby mama, she put me on child support. I didn't even know I was on child support. I was going out of town, picking up my kids, bringing them back up here. They were staying with me for the weekend, for the summer. I'm still buying them school clothes, yada, 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 XYZ. I didn't know I was on child support until I went down there to pick up my daughter. And I didn't turn on my blinker, and the cops was right behind me, and I got pulled over. Man. And then they said, "Mr. Harris, you going to jail." I said, "What I'm going to jail for?" Said, "Oh, because you got I forgot what they called it. They was like, you behind in child support." Went to court. Support. The judge told me, he said, "Hey, brother, you $12,000 behind." She had put me on child support 4 years ago. So she had put me on child support in 2008. And the whole time I'm still going down there getting my daughters, whatever. Didn't even know I was on child support till they pulled me over. Like, she was looking me dead in my face and wouldn't tell me I was on child support. I know about a bitter baby mama. And soon when I went to court, the judge was trying to throw me in jail. I had to tell the judge, I said, "Judge, first of all, I didn't know I was on child support." And I said, "If you put me in jail, how am I gonna pay it? Like, how am I gonna pay child support if you put me in jail?" And the judge wanted to throw me under. He wanted to give me 3 years in jail. But I said, "Come on, man, this don't make sense. You can't put me in jail.
Child support go up.
Me to pay it." Yeah,
right. Go up.
And so it took me working. It took me working 4 years. I worked 2 jobs. They were taking like current child support from my first job. They were taking 50% from my second job. Even though they said they can't take 50% of child support, they was doing that. And I had to do that for 4 years. And also they was taking all of my income tax. Every time it came, they just took it. Boom, give it to us. You know, and it draws interest with the state. I mean, it's $120 billion a year. The government ain't never gonna let that go. Ever.
Nah, so, they won't. Damn.
Nah.
I'm sorry, but you had to experience that, man.
Yeah, man. And my baby mama, she's still bitter to this day. You know, it's just, it ain't no way around it, man. You get them bitter baby mamas, and they gonna make you pay for it. For whatever you've done in that relationship, they're gonna make you pay for it through your kids.
You want to hear something funny, bro? Our culture got a song that say, "Oh, where she get her eyes from? She get it from her mama." Where she, right? So we got songs that say, you know, these parts of the body, the woman's body, of course, us men, you know, grow old to sexualize, right? And we say she get it from her mama, right? I don't hear nothing about, oh, she can make a good wife, and she don't get that from her mama, right? I don't hear nothing, no counter song to no man saying, oh, this man raised good men. The idea of this stuff is to raise quality level children. And a lot of parents, a lot of the moms, and of course, I know women don't like to hear it because then they throw it back on the men. But I'm gonna say it straight up. Get married. Try it. Try it the first time. If we keep having these little short burst transactions with each other where it's always like we got to do the sex thing, right? Let's try work a relationship. Let's see if we can work out it. But there's still women that end up be bitter after exes and stuff like that. But I think that comes in with how we choose. Right, you choose clothes the way they fit you. You know what I mean? And you had those clothes sometimes forever. How many of us men got shirts we done had probably from like senior year, sophomore years and stuff like that. We still got, you know what I'm saying? Right. So why can't we pick our women like that to stay around that long?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the women, right? Like y'all got stuff out here that y'all could, hold on forever. Y'all can hold on to y'all clothes and material things longer than y'all can hold on to the men, right? Why are we as a collective not choosing each other in a way that we gonna have each other for a long time? Because I can go up in my closet and I'll be like, man, damn, I done had this shirt too long. I throw it away. I don't want this shirt being in my house longer than my wife is in this house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I be at with things, man, because I'm like, we need to get our minds conditioned into picking things that are a little bit more quality. Better is subjective. Sure. Quality. Right. We need quality level kids growing up making quality level decisions.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So once they make quality level decisions, that's how it continues, because it takes 40 years to grow a 40-year-old. Think about that. It takes 40 years. Mm-hmm. So if everything that you give them in the beginning is nothing but the candy, the sugar, the pop, all the sweet stuff, and all their teeth fall out by the time they, on the back end of that other 20, what you expect gonna happen? They're gonna have a taste for candy. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about candy on the Players Club,
Yeah.
They're gonna have a taste for it, but we gotta stop that. We have to go in and say, hey, nah, let's do this way. I see so many other cultures let their children be children. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No pressure to grow. No pressure that you gotta have a bill in your name. And it happens. I get it. But no pressure for that kid to be nothing else but a kid. The worst thing you could do is put worry on a child that can't do nothing but go to school. Can't do nothing. But if you give, here's a dangerous recipe. You give your child worry and a phone.
Oh, they'll figure something out.
Man.
Fast.
Hey, I just want to say, man, I really appreciate y'all making time, man, because
for sure.
You guys are both busy. I mean, y'all both fathers, and y'all
you see us keep looking to the left, bro.
Yeah, boy. You know what's happening. My babies just came in this room.
Yeah, shoot.
They don't like it. They don't like it when daddy be on these Zoom meetings and stuff like that for long. They be like,
I got it.
They don't like it.
So I would definitely like to get you guys back on here again, man, and hopefully
for sure, anytime, brother.
Mike, to have the conversation, man. I think we need to have these conversations with men just to kind of establish some things and make sure that, people are aware. If you're not aware of what's going on, how are you gonna make better decisions? You make better decisions when you know better. So what's that old saying? You do better. If you knew better, you do better type situation. So take it back to the old basics.
Hey, or change it up. If you see better, you be better.
Ooh, come on now. Ooh.
Okay.
Come on now, bro.
Like
that. We're moving into 2024.
We 2024.
You know what I'm saying? Take this. All right. So this is gonna be on Diamond Production shirts right there.
This ain't no Diamond Production. I'm on your pod. I am a guest with you fellas, man. I am a guest.
That was fire though. That was fire.
There alone, bro.
That's yours,
better,
bro.
You be better.
That's yours. You can have that.
Yo, I'm off the rip. That's why I like talking to you, man. You always had those little nuggets. Nuggets, man. They just come out. They just come out, man. I appreciate you, brothers, man. And
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah,
that last podcast, he was kicking in on that spiritual talk, bro. I was watching it. I was like, hey, Andre was going in.
Yeah, man. Andre did not play, man. Man, make sure you tap in with him, bro, because he got so many things going on.
Okay.
And then also
so much stuff.
I got plugged in with Winston. I don't know if you've seen that podcast, Winston Frazier, when he was on, but he's doing a youth program for music production on Fridays. This year. So I don't know if you want to be a part of that too, man, but we could tag team on that or something. Well, I used to do with the Boys and Girls Club with him back in the day. So I'm gonna get back into the mix of doing that, man, because I would love to see the youth basically taking the experiences and the knowledge that I have with music production and DJing and making a life out of it, man. You know, they got nothing but time to go ahead and cultivate that craft. So I can only imagine what they come up with.
Give it to them, man. Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple of kids, man. We did it at one unit and they ended up making their own record company, man. So they would produce, rap, shoot their own videos. They would storyboard the albums and everything like that.
That's what's up.
All the stuff we taught them, man. And like once they graduated out of the Boys and Girls Club, they stuck together and they just kept making music. It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
So what y'all need to do is take that idea, man, and then go start y'all nonprofit. Go get y'all 501c3, get it legal, get tax exempt, and then take that idea, go to audio stores and have them give y'all free equipment. And just use your 501c3 to do it. And everybody gives money to nonprofits that deal with kids and women. So you wouldn't have no problem getting money from churches, getting money from businesses, corporations, all that as far as grants, state, city, and federal. If you was doing that, and you can use that same story as your catchphrase to get donations, bro. So you got to do it, man.
I got videos.
Hey, that's dope idea right there.
And stuff like that, man.
For sure, man.
So most definitely, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in to the We Time podcast. We are here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's either me and Tish Keani, Konami. I'm gonna mess up her name on purpose because she ain't here to defend herself. The Chiefs are in the playoffs, unlike the Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm saying everything. She cannot. Oh my goodness, man. Again, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna be out. Peace.